If you want to guarantee yourself success in any given situation at any time ever, be the hardest worker in the room.
Because you can get a powerful start to the day, so really set the pace for the day, get a sweat on, get in that mood, get in a good mood after the workout, have a shower, then you're really ready to go kill the day, opposed to that get into the office and then slowly build yourself up and get into some sort of momentum. You're in the morning, you're on fire, and you get hit the ground running.
In business, ideally, where you want to be is you want to be on top of the business, not inside the business. What that means is that you're not actively every day involved with the nitty-gritty, the small details of what's happening in the business, but you're just overseeing strategy overall. That frees up your time to go and look at other opportunities and, spend your time where it's probably most best spent in terms of looking at new opportunities and exploring new businesses. But if you're stuck in the nitty-gritty every day, obviously you don't have the time to do that. So a key part to freeing yourself up is hiring the right people, having that management team in place where you've got responsible and capable people who can drive the ship forward, whilst you look at opening up new avenues. I think as an entrepreneur, what you are is you are an opportunity creator. You open doors, you create opportunities. You're not necessarily 100% the best executor. You've got to be a good executor, you've got to be a very good executor, but there will be people better at that than you are, and it's about finding those people. I've always believed in one simple thing: if you want to guaranteed be successful, always be the hardest worker in the room. That doesn't mean work dumb, it doesn't mean don't work smart. What it means is that always consistently be the hardest worker in the room, and you'll learn to work smart. You'll figure it out. If you're constantly, for example, if there's that tree over there and you've got a screwdriver and you're trying to break that tree down with a screwdriver, you're gonna start just hammering that screwdriver into the tree, hammering it into the tree. But then eventually, because you're working so hard and you're consistently going at it, eventually you work out the smart ways yourself. So as long as you're the hardest worker in the room consistently, over time you'll also become the smartest worker in the room. So if you want to guarantee yourself success in any given situation at any time ever, be the hardest worker in the room. Simple as that, period. Nothing else. One of my first jobs was at a phone company, selling mobile phone contracts, and by the time I got into that job, I only had a month left until university, and I needed to make some big money. So I went in there, and they had a top earners bonus scheme. This company has like 3,000 salespeople, and the top 100 in that company make this top earners bonus scheme, where they get a bonus of up to £1,000 depending on where they are in this top earners bonus scheme. Now, I'd never sold before, I'd never been in sales before. This is my first sales job ever, right? Before this, I'd done some waitering at restaurants and random bits and bobs and small businesses running around, but I'd never ever worked in a sales job. Anyways, so I've come into this job, and I said to the manager of the store, I said, look, this top earners bonus scheme, how long does it take to get in there? Is there any chance I can get in there this month, being my first month on the job? He said, no way, impossible. He said, the guys that are in the top earners bonus scheme, they've got regular clients, they've been working in the company 3-4 years. It's the same people every single time who are in this top earners bonus scheme, and it's because of the recurring business they've got from their clients. There's no way you can make it in that top earners bonus scheme in your first month. It's unheard of. It's never happened before. Anyways, you guys know exactly what's going to come next, yeah? Obviously, I was in the top earners bonus scheme that month, and it wasn't because I had some miraculous talent or some amazing salesperson. I'd never sold before, but because the store was in a shopping mall, the shifts used to be, I believe, 10 or 12 hours a day, so you only had to work 4 days a week. But what I did was I worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week for that 4 month, every single day, with core sharp focus on one thing that I need to and I will be in that top earners bonus scheme. When everyone else was taking lunches, I used to walk out, get a sandwich, be back within 5 minutes. When everyone else was talking to other people, I'd be there, or when they're just chilling out, doing a bit of, having a bit of fun with their colleagues, or just chilling and chatting, whatever. I was there, one sole goal, one sole aim: sell more phones, sell more phones. And that month, I hit the record in that company as the first person ever in the history of the organization to be in the top earners bonus scheme in my first month. And I walked away with about £6,000 in my pocket that month from 1 month of work selling phones at 19 years old. So if you think you can't do it, or if you think I don't have the talent for it, I didn't have the talent. I didn't know anything about this industry. I'd never sold before. But with pure determination, hard work and focus, and being the hardest worker in the room, I won. And anybody can win doing that. It doesn't take rocket science. You don't have to be the most intelligent person in the world. You don't have to be the sharpest or with the best education or anything. That just takes pure perseverance and pure will. That's it. That's all you need. And that perspective of my sales job is not just for a single job. That's for anything in life. The point is global. The point is overall. You can have anything you want in life. You can achieve anything you want in life through pure hard work and determination. Last night with sales, when you speak to your buyers and they ask you about the security and the investment, you can explain that to them. That forget looking at security, forget me explaining to you about security investment. That is what our company is about. That is why we were created. That is why we exist today, is to address those problems that you had. So you don't have to question my integrity, because we're here solely to address that problem in the first place. December is always an interesting month because with every challenge comes an opportunity. So December is a difficult month in terms of hitting targets, because basically you've got half a month. Everyone's in Christmas mode, everyone's getting ready for the break, but we still have the same expenses. We've still got to hit our targets. So we've got to do the same business we do the full month in half a month. So we're just doing some brainstorming, and we've come up with an idea that we're going to do a big incentive now. We're going to be giving away a free iPhone XS, the new hottest product, for every buyer. So obviously we've got a time constraint now. We need to get this campaign out today. Today's Friday, so we're going to brief the marketing team, get this campaign out today, and start the offer as of Monday for a limited period of 5 days, and really try and push those sales in a quick way and create some urgency. So really it's about looking at it that, we've got a challenge over here with the Christmas period, with the winter period. But how do we capitalize on that? How do we turn that around and make it into an advantage for ourselves? Why didn't we get a solution to it? We've got to be solution finders. We can't be people who stop at obstacles, that we have an issue and we stop. That's the core essence of life. What's the difference between somebody who's successful and not successful? The difference is that somebody who's not successful, when he comes against an obstacle, he flaps his wings and says, oh, what can I do now? Life's over, right? What's the difference when somebody's successful? He sees an obstacle, he finds a way to go over it, under it, around it, sideways, throw it in the air, jump around it. He finds a way to just maneuver the way through it. We need to think on our feet. We need to make things happen. We need to get sales in this month. Faisal came up with a great idea for this incentive last night, and we've turned it around and we're making it happen. In future now, from now on, when we're launching it, you guys know the process though, yeah? We sit down, we have this brainstorm session. You weren't here for that, Sandy, but we had a brainstorm session. We discussed it, we said who's doing what, we planned it all out, we made our notes, we went back, we started doing our work, we then came back and we launched the sales. Whether this is happening over 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or happening in a day, this is what the format should be. So we're thinking about it, we're talking about it, and collectively then we do it. All right?
We're taking the time to speak to BPF on their recipes for success. video and podcast series. We'd like you to start off by describing yourself and your journey so far.
Hi Zara, first of all thank you very much for coming here. Great to see you, looking lovely as always. So the first question is my journey and?
How would you introduce yourself to those who don't know you?
Okay, well my name's Zeeshaan Shah, I'm 33 years old. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I currently run 3 businesses. I've sold 1 business. I won Young Business Person of the Year in 2016, and then in 2017 I won the Young Entrepreneur of the Year award at the London Asian Business Awards. I've had an interesting career so far. Really sort of started in the property market, ventured outside a little bit here and there, done some ventures outside the property market as well, but predominantly a real estate entrepreneur. Got businesses here in the UK. We do developments and investing in the UK. I mean, I've had many ups and downs, as you know, comes with business. Some of the ups, I'd say, you know, obviously winning the awards for Young Businessman of the Year and then Young Entrepreneur of the Year. For one of my businesses, One Investments, we got the award last year for the largest international agent for Damac Properties, right? The highest performing international agent. So Damac Properties, they're a $5 billion market cap publicly listed company, and for us to be awarded, and we only started our journey with them in March of last year, and by the end of the year we were their #1 agent. So whereas other ones have been probably going for 10 years as their agent, we came in, we only did 9 months, so only 3/4 of a year, and we were #1. That was a great achievement. And to be honest, a lot of the deals that I've done one by one, they've all been really innovative in their own way. You know, I've been doing deals worth millions of pounds with no money in my pocket, you know, in the past. So, you know, those sort of would make you really proud when, you know, you're making good money and you're turning around a £10 million deal and your back pocket, you know, you only got 10 grand. So it's, you know, those sort of things, the small happiness, you know, that you get from them, where you're sort of having to play the game and, you know, the hard times, because the most difficult part of the business journey is going from 0 to 1 million, right? That's the most difficult part of the journey. So that's where you have to play the game the most. And the small achievements that I made on that journey, I think those will always be the most precious to me, and the ones that I'll always remember for the rest of my life, because they're the most difficult. But if you ask me my biggest achievement in life, it has to be you know, my family, my wife and my son. You know, my son in particular, he's my pride and joy. He's you know, 2.5 going on 3 now. He'll be 3 in March, and just seeing him grow and develop, and the relationship I have with him, and the life that he's living, you know, that's my biggest achievement, and that's my biggest source of inspiration as well now. I think you come to a stage in life, well I did, at least in my late 20s, when I was like, kind of, okay, you know, I set out on this business path, and yeah, it's really fun and I find it interesting, and I wouldn't choose anything else to do, but is this it? Is that it to life? Is this all that there is? You know, is this what I'm just going to continue doing forever? There's got to be a bigger meaning. There's got to be something else, right? And when I had my son, then, you know, everything fell into place. You're like, now it makes sense. You know, life's not about me. You know, it's about, when you have your children. For me, when I had my son, it's like, now I've got a new purpose and new meaning for life. And that's why when a lot of people say that life isn't about yourself, it's about giving back. That giving back starts from that. You know, the first giving back is you're doing to your own family. You know, and what gives you pleasure is not, if I say, you know, if you compare the pleasure of me, for example, buying my son some, you know, having a fantastic holiday with my son and going away for a week and us having some quality time, versus me buying a, you know, brand new Lamborghini, it's incomparable. The Lamborghini means nothing. It is insignificant. That's what giving back's all about. It's about those feelings that you give back to somebody else and what you get out of that. In business, every single day there's challenges, right? There's small challenges, there's medium-sized challenges, there's huge challenges. You know, every day is a challenge, and the secret to success, right? If anybody to ask me, if somebody said, right, you've only got 1 point, somebody's young, somebody's 18 years old, they're just starting in business, give them one tip to, you know, sort of really pull together the whole
vision of what they will need in business, if they just had to sum it up in one line or one point, what would it be, right? And success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm, but in a matter of fact, gaining momentum, right? So if you think of yourself as a runner, right? And think of yourself as a runner, I don't know the term for it, but you know the one that the way they run and they have to jump over the
hurdles.
McLeod commenced quickly. Martineau Lagarde was beaten out.
Hurdles, yeah, on the way, right? And there's people, they call that race something, I forgot, it slipped my mind, right? Anyway, so you're a runner who does those hurdles. Now, if you run and the hurdle comes and, you know, obviously you've never jumped over it before, you jump over it, you fall over, right? A lot of people, what they'll do is, they'll hit that first hurdle, right? And they'll be like, it's not for me, right? It's not for me. Let me just go back to the normal race, right? This hurdles isn't for me. This is not my thing. I'm just going to go back to walking, or I'm just going to go back to the marathon. You know, I'm not good for this high-paced thing. Then some people will go, they'll go across the first hurdle, then they'll try again, and then they'll try again, but the second, third one they'll go. And honestly, by the time you've got to a decent stage, most people have left anyway, right? They're all like, you know, it's not for me, it can't happen. What you've got to do is you run, you try and cross that hurdle, you got it wrong. Think back, shit, what did I do wrong there, right? That didn't allow me to cross that hurdle. The next time you run, perfect it a little bit more, like improve it a little bit more. You might still not get over it. It might take you 20 times. You might not even be able to do it in your first run. It might take you 500 times. But ultimately, if you stick at it and you say, there's no way that I'm going to lose, you can't lose, you're going to win. So you've got to go from those hurdles. Each time you trip up, you've got to get back up with a smile on your face, think about what you just did, how you can improve it, and I'm not going to let it happen again next time. And you just got to keep going. You've got to keep going. So the most successful people in the world, they're the ones that fail the most, but they learn the most. And every time they fail and learn, they gain more enthusiasm. That now I'm more intelligent than before, now I'm going to win.
Actually, I learned a lot from that as well. Yeah, that is absolutely true. So it's the most successful people are the ones who never give up.
Never give up. It's really as simple as that. If someone says to me, literally, if I was to sum it up in one word, that whole thing, you're starting off on your entrepreneurial journey, take the words perseverance, right? And, you know, do whatever you want with them. Write them on your bathroom mirror. When you go to bed at night, write them on your ceiling, right? Wake up in the morning, if you've got the wall in front of you, write perseverance there, wherever you go. Perseverance. If you just keep on going, there's no way you won't win. When I left university, I had a friend of mine, it was me and him, and I decided Dubai property market was booming, and I decided, right, I'm going to move out to Dubai and go do it over there. So literally, I found a job within a couple of days, and they offered me the job, did like a Skype interview or whatever, a telephone interview at the time, and I was ready to go within like 4 or 5 days. So I told my friend, who was also in sales as well, and we used to live in a small town in Doncaster, which is like 3 hours from here. It's like a village. He was in a sales role as well. He had more experience than me. I went to college and dropped out. He was actually doing sales, right? And he'd been in that sales role for like 2-3 years, top performer, right? And I said to him, look, man, I'm moving out to Dubai. This is what I'm doing. Come with me. Me and you will go together. He's like, yeah, I'll do it for sure. I'm going to do it as well. Anyways, time came. I literally, from the moment that I thought about it, 10 days later, I'd packed my suitcases and gone. Right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Everyone's saying to me, oh, have you thought about it? Have you done this? Have you done that? You should just stay here, get a job, do this, do that. You know, trying to put you in a box. Yeah. Like, stay normal. Why are you trying to do some crazy shit? Stay normal, right? And on the same time, my friend's running parallel, who I'm telling to come with me, right? Anyways, I was leaving. He's like, bro, I'm coming next week. I'm getting everything sorted. I'm resigning from my job. I'm packing my shit. You get there. I'm literally behind you, right?
Yeah.
Today's the day. What has it been since then? 10 years, right? My journey has been all over the world to where we are today. He's still in Kentucky, Doncaster, yeah? In the same job.
Nice.
What was the difference? The only difference there was that I left and he didn't.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Because I went there and I saw a whole wide new world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, man, all this exists as well. You know,
Yeah.
It's not just that small little town where I come from. The world doesn't end there. I went out there and realized shit is so big. I've got so much more I can do, so much more I can make happen. And you've got the same quality in you.
Yeah.
That's a huge quality.
Yeah.
Being able to look at something and be like, boom, I'm going to do it. You've got nothing to lose, man. Life's to enjoy. Life's to live. You know? And worst case scenario, you'll go back from here in a year and say, fuck, man, I lived in London for a year. Went to all these random places, travelled around, sat in loads of crazy meetings, watched this crazy business that's growing hugely fast. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people love to hold people back.
They do.
Yeah.
They love to say, don't do it.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
The goal was that basically Pakistan suffers from a huge PR issue. People are really scared, all those sort of things. We got one guy from Canada, one from the UK, one from Poland, one from Italy, one from New Zealand, and a couple of Pakistani influencers. And these are all people who got big social media followings in travel, right? So we paid for their trip, we gave them all some money as well, whatever their fees are, and took them all on this group to go and tour Pakistan.
Yeah.
So the combined direct reach these people had is over 2 million people.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then we've got about 4 or 5 million views now across their videos, our videos, all of it combined.
Yeah.
They're just telling people like a true story of what it is. And I even told the government over there, because I had a meeting with quite a few of the senior guys while I was there. I said, if you go back 10 years ago, right, you would have had to spend hundreds of millions, literally hundreds of millions of pounds to establish a brand for Pakistan and change that PR perception. If you look at Incredible India, they would have spent billions over the last 10, 15 years in you know the Incredible India brand.
Listen, I go to the World Travel Set Market. I'll go there every year, right? So they were over it. I didn't even see Pakistan there.
Yeah. Billboards, TV, all these things, it's very, very expensive. But today the opportunity you have with social media, right, you've got an average guy like me, right, who's just, for example, got 100,000 followers on Instagram, got 100,000 followers on Facebook, got 200,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Normal people,
right?
Yeah.
This guy, you can easily just pay for his trip, give him a bit of pocket money, pick him up, and say, right, here you go, go tour Pakistan.
Yeah.
And that marketing that he will do for you is so much better than anybody else because it's genuine and it's real.
Exactly.
It's like in the moment. Hey, here I am. I'm in Karachi. It's so cool over here. The people are so friendly.
Yeah.
And all these people who are watching, number one, they trust him and they know him, and it's just real. I said, if you run this I've just done this little pilot thing, right? If you ran this as a program for 5 years, and every single month you had hundreds of people coming under the same thing, in 5 years you could completely change the perception of the country. Completely turn it around. My first business was actually when I was about 10 years old. 9 or 10 years old. And I used to love dogs back then. I still love dogs, to be honest. And so we used to have a small dog, like a Samoyed. And I wanted to buy a pit bull. So I asked my dad, I was like, look, can I get a pit bull? And he's like, no, you can't, you can save up your pocket money and buy your own. So I did the figures. It would take me about 4 years of pocket money to buy this dog. I was like, shit, that ain't working. That's too long. So anyway, so my Samoyed, she was a female, and down the road we had this guy who owned a male Samoyed. So anyway, so I went to him and I became his friend. After becoming his friend, I was like, look, can we mate our dogs? And he was like, yeah, sure, cool. So actually he was a bit hesitant at first. I had a bit of convincing, but yeah, he was a bit in the beginning he was a bit hesitant, right? I'm not sure why he wasn't up for it, but anyways, he was ultimately, we became friends. He was an older guy, he was like a grown man, right? I was a kid, and ultimately, whatever, he was just like, okay, cool. So then what happened 6 months later is they had puppies, they had a litter, and so 6 weeks later I put them all on the market and I sold all the puppies, and obviously the goal was I'm going to sell all these puppies and then I'm going to buy the pit bull that I want. And it was really interesting because I got like a snapshot into like real life business from that small experience, because as soon as I sold the puppies and got the money, my brothers and sisters, they put in a claim. They're like, shit, she's our dog as well. right? So now you've got to share this money with us. I was like, no way. I put this hard work in. I've been walking around the streets making friends with this guy for like months. Eventually got the mating done. Then after this whole process, just gone through the whole process, selling the puppies, blah blah blah. I'm like, no way, it's not happening. So I had to hustle my way out of that. Anyways, eventually, so I went and bought the dog. I got 2 dogs actually, a male and a female, 2 pit bulls, and they were my pride and joy. You know, I was like, just used to like, all day I would spend with those dogs, right? Everything that I was doing, their training myself, taking them for walks, for runs. I used to go myself and like, you know, choose their dog food. And I didn't used to get like normal canned dog food. I used to go to the butchers and buy specific meat and get it cooked and blah blah blah. I was really into this thing. And then my second big lesson that I got about business from there is that at about 6, when I got them, when they were about 6 months old, 7 months old, somebody stole both the dogs, and I was heartbroken, man. It was a devastating experience. But you know, in that small little first business adventure of mine, I think I saw the full cycle of how things happen. You know, you don't have money, no one's really interested in you. All of a sudden you got money, everyone wants a piece. Everyone's like, I've got a bit. And then, you know, ultimately in the end it was a sad story, someone stole those dogs. But it's a lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends that won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not setting out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out. Oh look who's reaching.